الحمد لله الحمد لله القائل ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر باسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا. نحمده ونشكره ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نظيرا. ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى صحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. فيا أيها الإخوة في الإسلام، اليوم يمكننا مرة أخرى أن نفتخر بمصر أرض الإسلام العظمى ومكان حضارات العالم القديم، بأن الشعب قام من أجل الحرية ومن أجل الكرامة والعدالة الاجتماعية، ورفض النظام الذي أملي من الخارج، وذلك أدى إلى القمع الداخلي حرمهم من حقوق الإنسان الأساسية والكرامة، وجلب الفقر في معظم البلاد. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الحكيم: إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. المصريون قد تغير ما بأنفسهم، فسوف يغير الله ما بهم ويصلح بالهم إن شاء الله. Dear brothers, today we can once again be proud of Egypt, a great Muslim land and home of one of the world's greatest ancient civilizations. Its people have risen for dignity and rejected humiliation. By the millions they came out to demand freedom and social justice, and to reject a regime that humiliated them for decades by a foreign policy subservient to foreign interests, by internal repression that deprived them of their basic human rights and dignity, and by bringing to most of them poverty and misery. The Holy Quran said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people unless they change what is in themselves. According to this ayah, the condition of the Ummah and individual nations of Islam will not change till something inside them changes. Their way of thinking and their attitudes. The thinking and attitudes of the Arab people are now changing. The new generation has understood that dictatorial systems do not serve the interests of the people and must be changed. They have understood that these systems rule by fear, and the people have to overcome this fear. And they have indeed started to overcome the fear and come close to the teaching of the Quran when it says, فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَاخْشَوْنِي فَلَا تَخَافُوهُمْ وَخَافُونِي إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Yes, the people of Egypt and many other Arab lands have begun to overcome this fear. Each time the police shows brutality, the next day the people come out in larger numbers, as if to say to the dictators, we are no longer afraid of you. At this point in time, we do not know whether the army which presently has the control of the country will bring the promised reforms, and if so, to what extent. But the revolution cannot but be a positive thing for the people of Egypt and for the Arab and Muslim world generally. The type of Egypt that will be shaped in the months and years to come cannot but be better than the Egypt before the revolution, an Egypt run by the Raddareen and Khaineen. Egypt was like a train that had stopped moving. On January 25th, when the first large demonstration was held, this train started to move again. The journey will still be hard and long, but movement is better than stagnation. May Allah bless those who launched this revolution and have mercy on those hundreds who paid with their lives and those thousands who suffered injuries. وكانت مصر مثل القطار الذي توقف منذ سنوات عديدة لما قامت أول تظاهرة كبيرة بدأ القطار يتحرك من جديد فسوف يتطلب ذلك رحلة شاقة ولكن الحركة أفضل من الركود. الله يبارك للذين بدأوا الثورة ويرحم هؤلاء المئات الذين دفعوا حياتهم ويشفي الله الألوف الذين أصيبوا بجرح. There are some who will point to the losses that Egyptian economy has suffered and the opportunity that the demonstrations gave to criminals for looting. But Arab and Muslim countries have neglected their problems for a long time. And there is no easy and painless way to move forward. It is like a man who has neglected his health for a long time and has developed many diseases. In order to move to health, he will have to take some bitter medicine. and or avoid things that he likes and or go through surgery. In countries where a tyrannical dictatorial system is firmly entrenched, a revolution like the ones we have seen in Tunisia and Egypt is probably the only way forward. But countries like Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, Malaysia and Indonesia, where some measure of democratic systems already are in place, change could be done by evolution and not necessarily revolution. The ousted dictator of Egypt and those with him were not only traitors of Egypt but also to the Ummah of Islam. This is clear from the way they acted against the people of Palestine and in friendship with the Zionists. It is not surprising that one of the two states that consistently tried to support him was the Zionist entity called Israel. And the second state that supported him was Saudi Arabia. At first, many people of Egypt foolishly thought that this type of peace with the Zionist enemy will bring better life to them, and therefore they were willing to go along with it. But subservience to the enemies and iron fist rule at home only brought increased poverty and misery to most Egyptians. There are some, including influential and powerful scholars, who have described the revolution in Egypt as chaos, fawda, or fasad, or fitna. For example, the Saudi Arabia's top Islamic scholar, Grand Mufti Shaykh Abdul Aziz, said, هذه الفوضى تأتي من أعداء الإسلام والذين يلونهم. صحيفة الشرق الأوسط نقلت عنه قوله مشيرا إلى أن المظاهرات أدى إلى سفك الدماء والسرقة. This chaos comes from enemies of Islam and those who follow them. He also said that demonstrations lead to bloodshed and looting. But why these scholars are concerned about only the looting done by some ordinary people, and they do not speak against the looting done by the deposed dictator and his people? He, his family, and those around him seem to have used their position to steal billions from the nation. These scholars surely know the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in which he reportedly said, إنما هلك من كان قبلكم أنهم كانوا يقيمون الحد على الوضي ويتركون الشريف. The people before you were destroyed because they punished the weak or the poor for crimes, but they left the rich or the noble unpunished. This hadith also implies that the members of the deposed regime must be tried for all the stealing and torturing and killing that they did. The question that the Quran asked the Jewish and Christians religious leaders, the rabbis and priests, we should also ask some of our own ulama. The Quran asked them, لَوْلَا يَنْهَاهُمُ الرَّبَّانِيُّونَ وَالْأَحْبَارُ عَنْ قَوْلِهِمُ الْإِثْمَ وَأَكْلِهِمُ السُّحْتَ لَبِئْسَ مَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ. Why do the rabbis and religious scholars not forbid them, that is their people and their umara, from saying what is sinful and devouring what is unlawful of the wealth of others? How wretched is what they have been practicing. We must ask those of our ulama allied with the zalim rulers, why do you not do your best to stop these rulers from their stealing and zulm? And when the people rise to stop the zulm and fisk of the rulers, why do you not support them? Also, Muslim Brotherhood, Ikhwan al-Muslimin, has been banned for the past 50 years. Is it not fitna to ban political parties, especially Islamic parties? Why do you not, as scholars of Islam, support Islamic groups against the rulers who ban them? In contrast to the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, the Imam of Al-Azhar said more just words. قال أن العديد من المؤسسات في ظل نظام مبارك يعاني من الفساد وأن أولئك الذين قرروا أن يذهبوا إلى الشارع والاحتجاج ضد هذا الفساد هم أبطال. Imam of Al-Azhar al-Tayyib said, many institutions under the Mubarak regime suffered from corruption, and that those who decided to go to the street and protest against this corruption are heroes. يا عباد الله بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم إنه تعالى جواد كريم مالك بر رؤوف رحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين واستغفروا ربكم إنه غفور رحيم. فاستغفروا الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.